Good morning, class, and welcome already to week 5. We're approaching halfway point of the class. I know it's going by quickly. This week, we're going to start talking about time management, which is really important in college because you're going to need to, if you haven't already, learn to juggle different types of classes, the short-term and long-term projects you have for classes, and everything else going on in your life, whereas it could be work, family or friend relationships, extracurricular activities, having fun, and so forth. So we're going to start talking about time management today. Remember, when you're going through a module, to start at the beginning and then click next to go through each page. Last week, I had the college survival skills portfolio instructions in your week 4 module, and I want to review that a little bit. This is your next big project. Throughout the next 6 weeks, you will complete 6 assessments to help you reflect on time management and study strategies that work for you as an individual. After you complete each assessment, you will reflect on what you have learned in a corresponding discussion post for that week. In your weekly reflections and discussions, you will integrate information about various time management and study strategies that you'll learn about in lecture and in the weekly assigned readings. You will be using each assessment and your weekly reflection from your discussion posts to create a compilation of work that will contribute to your college survival skills portfolio. The college survival skills portfolio is due on Sunday, April 25th. This assignment is worth 100 points. When you submit, you will need to submit all completed 6 assessments, the reflection on each assessment, and a final summary about what you have learned throughout the project. So last week, you started with your first assessment, the learning style inventory. So you need to make sure that you saved that PDF, because you're going to be submitting all 6 PDFs that are going to be coming up in your discussions in these coming weeks. Excuse me, I have to sneeze. Sorry about that. And then you're also saving the reflections that you write in your discussion, and you're putting them into the assessment reflection template. Now you can download the assessment reflection template onto your desktop so that you can copy and paste your work from the discussion. So it's really, as long as you keep up with your weekly discussions, this project will be a piece of cake, because you're just copying and pasting the reflections from the discussion into the template, as well as saving those completed PDFs that you complete. The assessment reflection template, if you click on the arrow, you'll download it. But here we're going to view it. You download it, and then see here, it says what I learned about myself. You'll copy and paste from your last week's discussion, and strategies I will start using for my learning style, copy and paste. So super easy. If you have questions, please let me know about that. And then there's a final reflection. Once you complete all 6 assessments in the next couple of weeks, and you've completed your weekly reflections for the assessment, then you do the final reflection. You're going to summarize what you have learned about yourself and how you're going to use this knowledge in your future as a successful college student. You will also discuss various time management and study strategies that you have learned throughout the last 6 weeks. Answer the following questions. What new awareness do you have about yourself as a result of this project? Ask yourself, what does this mean to me? B, what is something new that I have learned about myself? C, what impact does it have on my life, on my success as a student? Identify, describe, and reflect on at least 3 time management strategies that you learned about in the last 6 weeks. Use information from the weekly readings, lecture, and the assessments you completed. And then identify and describe and reflect on at least 3 study strategies that you've learned about in the last 6 weeks. Use information from the weekly readings, lecture, and the assessments you completed. So this final reflection should be completed after you do all the rest of the assessments. And that the assignment must be typed, double-spaced, 12-point font. Please proofread for spelling and grammar errors, writing complete sentences. You're going to be submitting it, all of the project, all as PDFs. It's going to be a lot of different submissions you're adding. And again, if you need help with assignment submissions, you can watch this tutorial. So for this week, remember last week you had the learning styles inventory. So you want to save that PDF and copy that reflection into your assessment reflection template. This week, you're going to start talking about your best time of day. You download it to your device. You click on this arrow, download this this assessment. You complete your best time of day and save it to your device. You'll be using this assessment to complete this discussion, and you will also be submitting this completed assessment as part of your college survival skills portfolio. So if we look at this, as we wait for it to load. So you can autofill, you can put in your name. Once you download it, it will let you autofill. You put in your name and you just answer the questions and mark the boxes. When you download it, it will let you autofill it. Then you add up your total points, you read about your best time of day, and then you can read about the strategies to help you during that best part of day. Then you go on to answer these questions. Explain what you learned about yourself, specifically, how do the results fit with your experience? Give examples. Discuss your best time to study, discuss your best time to take classes, and explain changes you will make or strategies you'll start using. Remember, to get full points on the discussion, you must write your own post and then reply to 2 other students. Now, the reason we're talking about best time of day is because when you're a student in college, you want to realize, are you more focused in the morning, in the afternoon, at night? Because you want to plan your studying time and your classes around that time. College is not going to be, 7 to 2 o'clock or 8 to 3 o'clock every day. You might have a couple classes on Monday, 1 in the morning and 1 at night, and maybe you have 2 classes on Tuesday in the afternoon. It's going to be up to you to choose your schedule. So you'll have a lot of freedom to choose what time you're taking classes. So we're going to start our time management lecture. So throughout this chapter that you're reading this week, chapter 3, you're going to be reading about time management skills, your use of time and time management strategies for success. So first, it's important to look at time in your personality, and it's to realize how you approach time. In your reading for this week, there is an activity 1, where does the time go? That's really great to reflect on where you put your time into, because if you feel like you never have time to, say, complete your homework, we want to reevaluate what you're giving priority to time to. People differ in how they respond to schedule changes. Another aspect of your time personality involves the time of day. That's why this week you're doing your best time of day assessment. You can learn to manage your time more effectively, know how you spend your time, and create a schedule that works for your own time personality. So you're going to be reading a lot about that in section 3.1 of your reading this week. Time management for successful college students involves these factors. Determining how much time you need to spend studying. That's the first priority, is figuring out how many classes you're taking and how much time you need to study for those courses. And we're going to talk about the study formula in a little bit. Knowing how much time you actually have for studying and increasing that time if needed is very important. Being aware of the times of day you are at your best and most focused. Using effective long and short-term study strategies. Scheduling study activities in realistic segments. Using a system to plan ahead and set priorities. And staying motivated to follow your plan and avoid procrastination. So this is all the things that we're going to be talking about this week and next week, and that you'll be reading in detail in your reading. So your study formula means that every hour in the classroom, college students are expected to spend on average 2 hours outside of class dedicated to studying for each hour in class. So for example, an English class in a community college is worth 3 units. 3 units means about 3 hours of class a week. So if you have 3 hours of class a week and you need to put in 2 times that amount in studying, that means you need to be studying for that class 6 hours a week, and then you're in class 3 hours a week. So that's a 9-hour commitment to do well in that class. If you are a full-time student in community college, registered in 15 units, this means you're in class about 15 hours a week. Applying the study formula mentioned above, you should dedicate 30 hours a week for studying. A 15-unit course load translates into a 45-hour-a-week commitment. So that's something to think about. As a full-time student, you basically are putting in more than a full-time job's worth of hours into the week to do well in terms of going to class and then studying enough for the classes. So we're going to stop there for today. If you guys have any questions, please reach out to me. You really want to keep up on your weekly discussions because it's going to make that college survival skills project much easier. Instead of having to do all the work at the end, you're doing a little bitty tweak and putting it all together as a portfolio. So please try and keep up on your assignments. Please make sure that you're checking your Canvas announcements and inbox on a daily basis in case I've sent you something and that you need to respond. I did send many messages out last week. Some of you responded and some of you didn't. So that's a little bit concerning. So you want to make sure that you're checking your messages. Have a great week and take care.